Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here to recommend my favorite manifestation books. They are not going to be in any specific order of preference, but I am going to be separating them into two groups. So all of these books have a spiritual and a personal development aspect to them. However, the four last books are more practical, and the first three books I'm going to be recommending are a little bit more spiritual, so have a higher degree of spirituality in them. However, they are all equally very inspiring, and they are all very packed with information, and they are all guides to help you manifest your life. So it is truly a case of preference. So the first book that I'm recommending is from Dr. Wayne Dyer, and it is called Wishes Fulfilled: Mastering the Art of Manifesting. So Dr. Wayne Dyer for me is one of my favorite spiritual teachers and authors. He was actually my introduction to spirituality. So whenever I read a book of his or listen to one of his lectures, I always feel that his messages really resonate deep within me. So this book wasn't any different. So he discusses a lot the teachings of Neville Goddard on his book, which I also have in this recommendation, where he admits that Neville had a big influence in him, especially when he was writing this book. And actually this book was my introduction to Neville, and Wayne Dyer just talked so highly about him, and Neville's teachings that Wayne Dyer included in his book enticed my interest in Neville, so I did read his books afterwards. But I'm actually very happy that I read Wayne Dyer's book first, because he was able to deconstruct a lot of Neville's teachings, which I feel are a little bit more complex. So this book is basically divided into two parts. So the first part is about the concept of ourselves and the concept of our highest self and our higher self, which I found really interesting to actually see the difference between the two concepts. And also the fact that he explains how we need to first change how we see ourselves and how we define ourselves. So changing our concept of ourselves is essential for us to manifest our dream life. And in the second part of the book, we have the foundations or the steps to fulfill our dreams. And it's very practical and very straightforward and very easy to follow. And he really offers really good advice. So what I most liked about this book, besides being written by Dr. Wayne Dyer, is the fact that because of the way he laid out the book, the structure of the book, the first part really prepares us to develop those changes necessary of how we define ourselves, and show that it is essential for us to release ourselves from any limiting beliefs that we have created, in order for us to embody the beliefs that are empowering and are true to ourselves, which will not only help us manifest our dream life, but it also will help us live a happier life. So like I said before, Wayne is a truly inspirational teacher, and you won't be disappointed by this book. And to famously quote Dr. Wayne Dyer, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So changing the way you look at yourself and changing the way you look at life will also change your future. So I hope you enjoy this book. And if you have already read this book, let me know in the comment section what are your thoughts and opinions, and any recommendations that you have as well. So the second book that I am recommending is Ask and It Is Given: Learnings to Manifest Your Desires by Esther and Jerry Hicks. So these are the teachings of Abraham. So a couple of years back, when I discovered the teachings of Abraham, it was one of those things that, again, just like Wayne Dyer, it really resonated deep within me. So then I did decide to read this book, and it was such an eye-opening moment. And this book is one of those books that you can read many, many, many times, and you will find almost like a deeper meaning every time you read it. So I highly recommend this book, just for you to understand a little bit, because it can be a little bit confusing. So Abraham is not a person. So Abraham is described as a collective consciousness from the non-physical dimension, and Esther Hicks is the channel from where they talk and communicate with us and share their teachings. So again, it is also essentially divided into two parts. So the first part of the book is essentially explaining how the law of attraction works, how the universe works, and like reminding us of who we are and our place in the universe, our role in the universe. Obviously, this is a very condensed explanation of what this first part talks about, but essentially what they explain is there is a stream of well-being that is constantly flowing to us. However, we can be in a state of allowing or in a state of resistance. So when we are in a state of allowing, we feel good, we feel blessed, we feel happy and joyful. When we are in a state of resistance, it's when we feel the contrary. We don't feel happy, we don't feel blessed, we don't feel content. So if we want to manifest our dreams, we need to be in this state of allowing, which we can by aligning our thoughts and beliefs and our feelings to feeling good, which is essentially our natural state. So Abraham explains that our natural state is of well-being, of joy and happiness. So what we need to do is just align with what is our natural state. Basically what they're saying is the way for us to guide ourselves to know if we are attracting what we want to attract or if we're attracting what we don't want to attract is just to listen to our feelings, to notice our feelings. So if we feel good, we feel happy, we feel joyful, which is our natural state, then we are in a state of allowing and attracting our dreams. But if we're not in that state, then obviously we are in a state of resistance. And it is a concept that obviously empowers us, but they offer this system, this guidance system. It's almost like our emotions, our feelings, our compass, that is helping guide us in our journeys of manifesting our dreams. In the second part of the book, they introduce us to 22 processes or practices to help us be more in a state of allowing and releasing some of those habits and patterns of resistance that we have gained throughout our lives. Each of these processes are recommended specifically if you're feeling a certain way or in a certain situation in your life. So that way it's easier for you to see which one is more helpful for you depending on how you're feeling or in which situation you are in your life. If you have read this book, let me know what your thoughts are about it. And if you are going to read this book, then I hope you thoroughly enjoy it. So the third book that I'm recommending is Super Attractor: Methods for Manifesting a Life Beyond Your Wildest Dreams by Gabrielle Bernstein. So this book is again one of those manifesting books that are a bit more spiritual. But I really liked it because Gabrielle is very honest and very open, especially with her experiences. And she does talk about her struggles in her life with addiction and conceiving a child. And then she does explain how she was able to realign with her super attractor power and be able to manifest her dreams. So this is a very empowering book, not only to help us manifest our dream lives, but also to live our lives with freedom and joy and love and happiness, and almost like giving ourselves permission to enjoy life. And she explains that by enjoying life, we are able to manifest our dreams. And very similar to Abraham, which she does also admit has a lot of influence in her. It's almost like we are allowing ourselves, when we are in this state, which is our natural state, we are then aligned with the power of the universe, with the power of the universal consciousness which created us all and which we then have the power to create as well. So it's almost like we are able to access our power of creation when we are in alignment with the power of the universe, which is love, which is happiness, and which is joy and well-being. I really liked this book, especially with a section that she has on identifying blocks to our manifesting power. Sometimes we have such subconscious beliefs and patterns and habits that we're not really aware of it. And she puts almost like things in perspective and allows us to be more aware of where we are blocking our super attractive power and helping us release that. So it's a really good read, very interesting. It's really easy to read, very quick as well. So I do recommend this book. Now that we are heading over to the more practical books, the fifth book that I'm recommending is Becoming Supernatural, How Common People Are Doing the Uncommon by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I've recommended this book before in my previous video, which was about books that connected spirituality and science, and I love this book so much that I really had to recommend it again. So this book is packed with themes like consciousness, mindfulness, science, spirituality, manifestation. So you have it all in this book. So whoever wants to live a life that is much more fuller and more empowering and make changes in their life, whatever they are, I do highly recommend this book. So for those who are a little bit more skeptic and don't really understand the law of attraction, how does it really work in practical ways, this book has all the scientific explanations that you need. He also offers guidance and practices and meditations in order for you to make these changes and manifest your dream lives, from perfect health to manifesting money or whatever you want. So really recommend this book. Again, it has everything that you need in case you are a spiritual person, in case you're a practical person. It has everything and explains everything thoroughly. Okay, so I really do recommend it. So the fifth book that I'm recommending is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This book has been written a long time ago, in the beginning of the 20th century. So this book can be included in the manifestation category, but also in the productivity, self-help genre. So Napoleon Hill describes 13 steps towards success and wealth and manifestation of whatever we want to accomplish. This book is based on a research that he did of 2 decades, where he interviewed many successful men at the time, and where he basically gathered what was their secret to manifesting their dream lives and for their success and for all of their wealth. And we read a lot of those examples like Henry Ford and Thomas Edison. That is what I really like, because it really helps us to understand not only the steps, but also the major secret to their success. And in these steps, you have everything from anyone who really wants to build a business, or anyone who wants to find a good job. He even offers strategies for that. So you can't really go wrong when you read this book, because I feel like it has something for everyone. And it is really interesting to see that as you read the book, you start seeing what is the common themes or the common practices that all of these successful people made, and which really constitutes the secret for their success, which you can apply into your life. And it shows that the only thing that really keeps us from actually achieving our dreams is us. And we do have the power to create our dreams, because those who have succeeded never really gave up in face of adversity. So the main key for me in this book, and the main secret in this book that he reveals, is for us to really never give up, because they didn't, and they were able to achieve all of their dreams. So in order for you to achieve your most inner desires, then you should not give up. The sixth book that I am recommending is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. This book also includes the How to Attract Money book from Joseph Murphy. I really enjoyed this book. This is one of those books that really opened my mind to another way of seeing life and ourselves, and especially our own mind and how it works. So basically, this book really shows how you have the power to create your dreams by changing the way you think, and by almost like training your subconscious mind to believe that you are already the person that you want to be, and or that you have already the thing that you want to have. So it's almost like you need to make your subconscious mind believe that you are already living your dream life in order for you to manifest your dream life. So it really is very revealing. I read this book, I normally read before I go to sleep. So every time that I read this book at night, it was almost like I was submerging my subconscious mind with all of these thoughts and all of these concepts, which were again very empowering. And I started actually seeing a lot of changes at the time that I was reading this book, and I really started to manifest a lot of things in my life. So for me, this book I really highly recommend. I just want to point out that this book was written a long time ago, and at the time some concepts may seem a little outdated, especially the gender role in this book. But the value of the book is so good that I can really move past that and just really focus on the main points and the main teachings of this book. And the seventh book, the final book, is The Power of Awareness by Neville. And it also includes the Awakened Imagination in this version. Like I explained before with Dr. Wayne Dyer's book, the teachings of Neville are a little bit more complex. So for a beginner that doesn't really know anything about manifestation, law of attraction or any of that, I feel like it can be a little bit complex and a little bit of a shock. Not that it's too aggressive at all. I just think that as an introductory book, this could be quite challenging to understand at first. However, I do want to point out that a lot of these books, like The Power of Your Subconscious Mind and Dr. Wayne Dyer's book, are very much influenced by Neville's teaching. So like I said, this book is also extremely important, and it's really, really packed with information. And again, I think Neville was someone that was very ahead of his time. So you will always be provided with much value from this book. This book is largely based on the law of assumption, where he explains that by assuming something in your mind, that something is already done, that, for example, you are already the person that you want to be, or you already have the thing that you want to have, then, and feeling it strongly, then that will create your desire. So the law of assumption says that if you assume something with such intensity, that then you will create that into your reality. And your main instrument for this is your imagination. So we do have the awakened imagination. So our imagination is our most powerful instrument to help us assume our wishes fulfilled. So just like Joseph Murphy and Dr. Wayne Dyer, they do reference the Bible. I do really find their symbology really interesting to read, because it's another way to interpret the Bible that I have never heard of before. And to show that these concepts are not new, but this knowledge wasn't really mainstream before. So now we do have this ability to access all of this information and to work on our self-empowerment to manifest our dream lives, which is our birthright. So I really hope you enjoyed all of these recommendations. If you have read any of these books, then let me know in the comment section if you liked them or not, what your opinion is about them. And if you do end up reading any of these books that I've recommended, then again, let me know what you think. I would be really happy to know your thoughts. Before I end this video, I would really like to let you know that I have created a free digital manifestation journal, which you can download on the link either on the description box or in the comment section. And after reading and studying manifestation and the law of attraction, I took all of these teachings and all of these lessons and put them into a manifestation journal / workbook. that I think can really help you manifest your dream lives. And I'm so excited for you to finally see it and be able to use it and work with it, because it's something that I've been working on for a long time. So I really hope you enjoy it and find it useful. So again, don't forget to go down on the description box or on the comment section to find the link so that you can download this free digital journal. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Sending you love and light. Bye.